Ms. Atwood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On June 5th, Indigenous Services Minister said he was outraged in response to the act of police violence against Indigenous people and the recent death of Chantel Moore. I too am outraged. Families want answers. We should all want answers. I want to know, is the Minister of Public Safety outraged? Does he condemn the systemic discrimination among the police force in Canada?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the member for that very important question. Yes, I am outraged. I think all of us are and need to be outraged, and absolutely, systemic discrimination, systemic racism exists everywhere in Canada. I'm sad to say it exists in our hearts and in our minds, and we need to now take these tragedies and use them to change.
Atwood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Deputy Prime Minister for that very thoughtful response. On May 1st, while introducing new firearms regulations, the Minister of Public Safety said, "If now is not the time, when is? If now is not the time to put an end to racial profiling, when is? If now is not the time to rethink how the police intervene during a wellness check, when is? If now is not the time to end the patterns of dehumanization and violence that keep repeating themselves, when is?" Madam Speaker, I am asking the Minister of Public Safety, if now is not the time to work to end systemic discrimination in the police forces and our justice system, when is?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, let me again thank the member for her question, and let me start by saying, now is the time. Now is the time for all of us to commit to the incredibly hard work of ending systemic discrimination and systemic racism in all Canadian institutions. That is something we all need to be committed to. It is something our government is committed to. On the issue of racial profiling specifically, let me be clear that that is entirely unacceptable. It's wrong. Police forces mustn't do it. And let me also thank the member for connecting in her question the ban on military-style assault weapons and the need for us together to work against systemic discrimination.
Ms. Atwood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Across the country, we see that police service is, in the vast majority of cases, the biggest single line item of an operating budget. Police are responding to tens of thousands of mental health calls each year. Studies show that the percentage of work of the police involving social issues is ever growing, while coincidentally, we are seeing the defunding of multiple critical social services. Something is wrong here, and it is costing people their lives. Can the Minister of Families, Children and Social Development advise on the vision of the government regarding this reality and share with this committee if there's any plan on the table towards ensuring that communities have access to the funds required to reinvest in the social services that the population critically needs?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I'm very happy to the member to ask this really important question. We are being there for families, for children, for our most vulnerable. We've introduced the Emergency Community Support Fund to make sure that we not only support organizations that are delivering essential services to the most vulnerable in our communities, but actually expand their capacity to do that. We will be there for Canadian families. We will continue to be there for Canadian children and our seniors.
Right on. Atwood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Charities are a key component of our communities, and they contribute immensely to strengthen the social fabric of this country. But because of the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, they are now facing billions in lost revenue, drastic service disruption to essential community services, and massive layoffs disproportionately impacting women. The sector is projected to lose $15.6 billion in revenue and about 194,000 employees. Can the Minister of Workforce, Development and Disability Inclusion share what the government's plan is to support charities and the essential work that they do?
Minister.
Madam Speaker, once again, I want to thank the honourable member for raising a really important issue. Charities provide key and essential services to Canadians. And when Canadians need help, charities step up, and we have to be there for them. The Emergency Community Support Fund is exactly meant to do that. $350 million to support charities and nonprofits in Canada who are delivering really important and essential services to more Canadians than ever before. There is a larger request from the sector for stabilization money, and we have received those proposals and we're studying them very carefully. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Ms.